Activists for Convention of States engaged in primary elections held last week. The North Carolina team campaigned on behalf of 16 candidates in the state legislature and made over 16,000 calls. In overwhelmingly positive results, they netted 13 wins to just 2 losses with 1 race not yet called. They succeeded in ousting one of our biggest long-term opponents, Senator Michael Speciale.
Well, bye.
Having already passed the COS action resolution through the North Carolina House, we are anticipating action from the North Carolina Senate in the coming weeks. Additionally, Convention of States endorser Mark Robinson became the GOP nominee for governor in North Carolina.
The reason why I got involved with Convention of States, because I see it as a perfect way to rein in our out-of-control federal government, as well as push back against the rise of socialism in this country. Our founding fathers gave us a perfect way to do that with Article 5.
On this month's edition of COS at Home, Texas Congressman Chip Roy brought the fire and had this to say to state legislators in Iowa and Idaho.
$34.4 trillion of debt and a massive federal government interfering with our way of life, totally stomping on our ability to live freely, killing energy freedom, killing healthcare freedom. I can go down the list. You know, I feel like the power of the people, as the founders, as Rick and Mark articulated from Independence Hall, you know, the power of the people to be able to say, whoa, we got to reclaim that. I think that is more powerful than expecting these bozos in Washington to do it anytime soon.
You can watch that entire interview at conventionofstates.com/at-home. Hawaii has now filed the Convention of States Action Resolution with 4 Democrat primary sponsors, 4 Republican primary sponsors, and a Democrat co-sponsor. This brings the total number of states considering COS action in this year to 19. 34 Ready legislation was introduced in Mississippi on the team's Capitol Day last week. Mississippi was the 15th state to join the COS movement. Our Maryland team showed up in force to testify in support of 34 Ready legislation in the Senate Committee on Education, Energy, and the Environment.
Number 1, the Convention of States is inevitable. Only 15 more states need to pass the resolution. There are very active teams and legislation in all 50 states. There are 2.5 million supporters from a diverse range of groups, and these numbers are increasing by the day. With all this in mind, Maryland needs to be prepared. Even if we don't pass the resolution, though of course we should, other states will, and Maryland can't be caught unprepared. That's why I strongly advocate for HB 1202. Maryland must have a voice at the inevitable convention, and we must have a way to hold those commissioners we send accountable. This legislation will reinforce an already concrete process. The convention is coming, and Maryland must be prepared.
The COS Kansas team's advocacy helped SB 370, a bill that would protect state land from the feds, through the Senate Federal and State Affairs Committee. It now awaits action from the full Kansas Senate. And finally, here's some snapshots from COS events going on around the country, including Indiana, Delaware, Minnesota, Arizona, Tennessee, and Illinois. And now, you're up to date with Convention of States.